Hey friends, the other day I was receiving emails regarding my video on how to deal with a narcissist. And today I got an overwhelming response of how to actually remove yourself from a narcissist. So if you're watching this, chances are you're exhausted, confused, maybe even questioning your own sanity. Now, walking away from a narcissist, it is not weakness, it's wisdom. Today, I'm going to give you some helpful steps in how to remove yourself and remove yourself without guilt. Step one, start with clarity, not confrontation. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to explain their way out. Narcissists, they do not hear truth as information. They hear it as a threat. Now, confrontation often leads to gaslighting, rage, blame shifting, or fake remorse, and that's just to pull you back in. Now, what clarity looks like, you stop debating your reality. You stop needing them to agree with your feelings. You stop waiting for the right moment to be understood. Now, here's some biblical wisdom. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. That's Proverbs 23:9. Clarity happens internally first. Once you see the pattern, you don't need their permission to leave. Number two, detach emotionally before you detach physically. Now, leaving physically without leaving emotionally, that only keeps that bond alive. Narcissistic relationships, they're often trauma bonded, meaning your nervous system has been trained to crave the highs after the lows. Here's some practical steps. Stop sharing personal details. Stop seeking comfort from the person who wounds you. And journal. Journal instead of venting to them. And remind yourself daily. Connection without safety is not love. Biblical wisdom again. Where there is no trust, love withers. Now it's paraphrased from Proverbs 31:11. But you cannot heal in the same place you were harmed. Step three. Set boundaries and expect pushback boundaries, which are not a request. They are decisions. When you set them, a narcissist may escalate. They'll have more charm, more anger, more guilt, because boundaries threaten control. So healthy boundaries sound more like, I'm not available for this conversation, or that doesn't work for me, or even I'm ending this call right now. So no justifying, no over-explaining. Now, biblical wisdom again. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. If someone only respects you when you comply, they never respected you. Step four, create distance without announcing it. You do not owe a narcissist a detailed exit speech. Distance can be quiet, gradual, and strategic. Distance may look like reducing contact frequency or communicating only when necessary, removing yourself from shared spaces, blocking or going no contact, when safe to do so. Here's some more biblical wisdom. Make no friendship with a man given to anger, lest you learn his ways. That's Proverbs 22:24-25. Distance is not cruelty, it's discernment. Step five, expect guilt, grief, and doubt. Even when leaving is right, it hurts. You may miss who they pretended to be. You may grieve the future you hope for. You may even feel selfish for choosing yourself. Now, these emotions do not mean you're wrong. They mean you're human. Some more biblical wisdom, friends. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. That's Psalm 34:18. God does not shame you for choosing safety, choosing peace and truth. Step six, strengthen your support system. Isolation is a narcissist's strongest weapon. Healing requires safe witnesses, people who remind you who you were before the manipulation. Support can include a trusted friend or pastor, a therapist that's familiar with narcissistic abuse that is also faith-based counselor, community that reinforces truth, not confusion. Biblical wisdom. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. That's Proverbs 20:18. You were never meant to do this alone. Step seven, release the need for closure. Narcissists rarely give real closure. Waiting for accountability, that only keeps you emotionally tethered. Closure comes from acceptance, not apology. Biblical wisdom. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him and He will act. Psalm 37:5. God handles justice. Your job is healing. Step 8, rebuild your identity. Narcissistic relationships slowly erase your sense of self. Leaving means rediscovering your voice, boundaries, and worth. Start rebuilding by recommendations with things you love, saying no without guilt, spending time with people who feel safe, deepening your relationship with God. More biblical wisdom? You are no longer slaves to fear. That's Romans 8:15. Freedom often feels unfamiliar at first. That doesn't mean it's wrong. Now, here's the final truth. Removing yourself from a narcissist is not about punishment. It's about self-preservation, wisdom, and obedience to truth. God does not call you to remain in cycles that destroy your mind, your heart, or your spirit. Now, if you need a one-on-one session, visit elvachase.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.